Hello everybody, Auvbri here. Welcome back to another speed build here on the channel. Today we're building something that I normally never build. So we are building a huge ass mansion type of 8 sim builds, but it's actually only for 6 sim. But in here I built this massive family styled house. I kind of went in the direction of somewhat the Tudor style, but again we kind of threw in some American suburban in there, made it look really unique to the area. So we're building in Brindleton Bay, which is still one of my favorite towns in The Sims 4. I don't know, I just think it looks so gorgeous. It's like, it has a vibe that I really just enjoy for the nature and the color schemes and just the overall, it being like this harbor town, this very cool looking town. And I just thought, you know what, this build fits perfectly in here. So going into the build here, as I said before, she's massive. She is probably one of the biggest builds that I have done for a family styled household. So it took a huge chunk of time to actually do this build, and you kind of saw me there. We kind of skip ahead at some parts throughout the build to actually, you know, cut down on the size of the build and the size of how long this video is going to be. Also just because I kind of go around, switch things up, try different styles, again because this is so out of my comfort zone to build builds like this, builds that are so massive in size like this, and definitely is a stylized build. Again, also it's a build for 6, maybe 7 sim, a 7 sim household, which is huge. So I know one of you out there, you know who you are, actually requested a build, a big build with a lot of specific things you wanted in the build, but I kind of took a little bit of that to heart and did a big family styled build, but put my own spin on it. So we've gone into the build here. This is where, again, we had to cut a bit in the video for the layout of the build, because I went through probably 3 different layouts for this build of what I wanted to do. I always knew this room that we're going into here, I knew I wanted it to be the kitchen. So on the side of the build, we have this garage area, and I knew I wanted to have some part of that be a kitchen entrance into this grand big kitchen, because it's a big family, it needs a big kitchen, and I really wanted to also have a style in here. So the style that I was going for, it was kind of like a mix between modern and Tudor. So yeah, that's a tall one. It was a vibe, and I actually had a very difficult time trying to figure out how the hell do you mix these 2 styles. This very specific style of the old school Tudor type of style with this modern style, which actually wouldn't go together at all. But I threw in some stuff in here. I think we made it work. You know, some modern furniture, some old school furniture. And once you mix the contemporary with the old school, you definitely get a vibe in here and a style that I think fits this house so well. Even just with just the windows and the windows, how they kind of play off of the furniture as well. Really cool. Love the way that all of this turned out. So going from the kitchen into the dining room here. The dining room, I needed it to be big, so we needed it to fit at least 6 sim. Going back at it, I probably could have put in a bigger table. That would have made a lot more sense, but you know what, I actually like the way that it looks. And we also have seating area out in the kitchen, so there's plenty of seating in here. Also, this being a big family style build, I also wanted to include the idea of pets in here. So we put in a cat, kind of, I don't know what it's called a castle type of thing, scratchy post, whatever it's called. We put that in. I also put in some stuff for the dogs to sleep in. And I just took this whole idea of family style to heart when I built this build. So I really tried to just, make everything feel family style, make everything feel and look like it actually belonged in the build. Also using the terrain tools here, not something I usually use, but it just, guys, it worked, it fit in. So I wanted to have this pathway go up to the garage as well. I wanted to include all of these flower beds and make it really pretty from the front, but again, not too busy, because again, it's a big house with a lot of sims. And when we go upstairs and we go into actually continue with the room, you're gonna see how many different style of sim characters I tried to fit into this build. I discovered this new grass that you kind of see me put in there. I love it. It's so good. Like, the texture is good, the look of it, when you zoom in, it's really good. It looks thick and luscious, which I cannot say that a lot of the grass does in this game, but it was just so good. And then I just started to build up layers of this front garden area. So it's not so much of a garden more than it is a stylized type of pathway going up to the house. Also just because the house, it looks, I wouldn't say drab, I wouldn't say boring, but it is wood and stone. So it is just what it is. So you really needed to, I needed to put a lot of effort into making the build look luscious from the front and from the back garden as well. So we had to spend a little time here, but again, with all these debug items that your boy needed to put in here, I think it turned out really cool in the end. Something that bothers me about the terrain style, or the way that they did terrain tools in this build, is the way that some things just float on the terrain, and I don't remember it being that bad in the other games. I remember in The Sims 3, which is the game that I have played the most in the series, apart from this one, I don't believe it was that bad. I don't remember things floating that much in the air. You could get away with a lot more terrain styles in The Sims 3. Going into the build here, so we're in the front entrance area. So this would be the main entrance. I imagine a lot of people actually use the doorway in the kitchen as well, but this is the main entrance area. I really wanted to do something nice and special for this one, so we put in a lot of clothing, a lot of shoes, a lot of storage areas as well. I thought that would be very fitting into the build itself, and again, just trying to mix styles here, so kind of going with this old school style, mixing it up with this newer contemporary style, and to really create something that is nice looking. And again, I had a lot of trouble with this build as well, because I know many people have issues with this, that sometimes the windows, they're there, but they kind of merge with the walls, so you can just see the frame of the windows or the doors. I had a lot of problems with that. I decided in this build to actually place the master bedroom. So for the mom and dad, I placed it downstairs, so they would have a lot more privacy. They also have an ensuite bathroom for their part of the build, and this is the biggest of the bedrooms. So I could have totally turned this into a 2-bedroom kind of situation here and have a smaller bathroom, but I really thought, it's deserving and fitting for the master bedroom to be the bigger one and actually be a bit separate from the rest of the bedrooms. Going upstairs here, we have tons of bedrooms up here as well. I'm just looking here. Oh yeah, so this because there's so many bedrooms. So this is kind of like a teenage girl, maybe a little more in the end of young adults, or the beginning of young adult and the end teens than anything else. But I really wanted to have a nice room in here, and when I say it's for 6, maybe 7 sim, maybe you can put in a boyfriend or girlfriend for this sim in here that can spend the night, because this room has a double bed, so it is possible for 2 sim to actually live here, and you can create your entirely own storyline. That's totally up to you. But I tried to create a nice muted looking room in here with a definite style of something very dark and this very dark Bordeaux red, which I thought was really cool. So that's it. We have the landing deck area here. When you get up the staircase, I just threw in some bookcases here. I wanted to create a little living room space, so we don't have a particularly traditional living room space in this house. So there's no space where there's like a television or something like that. We have these smaller living room spaces throughout the different hallways and areas in the build instead. And I also threw in a little workstation area here with a desktop computer, so you can kind of be there. And I really tried to make the upstairs just as nice as the downstairs, even though we have all of these kind of narrow hallways and stuff like that. Going into this one, this is a girl's room, definitely. I don't want to play on stereotypes, but I tried to create a lot of different types of rooms in this build, a lot of different interesting rooms as well, so there would be something for everybody in here. So I created this situation with the whites and pinks, just to, you know, differentiate the rooms from other rooms in the build. And again, lots of clutter in here. Playtested it. Your sim is able to use the things in each room. So my trusty builder sim, which you can't see on the camera right now because people always make fun of him for being naked, even though he's just walking around in his underwear. So he's very body confident, but he's not in the shot right here. But I always try and playtest builds where I put in somewhat more details than I would normally do, and maybe squeeze together a lot more items than I would normally do, to, you know, just make sure that everything works as intended. In here we have kind of like a nice grandma mother-in-law's room, so we have a lot of knitting stuff in here as well. Just a single bedroom. I thought that was really cute as well, very fitting. You can of course turn it into whatever room you want, but again, I try to create a story with this build and really make a lot of different rooms for this whole family. Of course, I put in a dog bed in here because I imagine that the dog living in here in this build would be kind of like a little dog for the grandma. In here I put in a small boys room, very simple. So I went with the bunk bed. I put in computers, some, you know, toys in here as well. I tried to make it somewhat a bit more neutral than the other rooms, but I still wanted it to be a room with kids toys and, you know, the chests with toys in it as well, and just create like a nice space for a kid to be. And yeah, I believe that's all of the rooms. So some of the rooms that you didn't see me do includes the bathrooms. They took a lot of time to do. So there's 2 bathrooms downstairs. It's kind of like a little powder room, so not a full bathroom. And then we have the ensuite bathroom for the parents. Then there's bathrooms upstairs as well for everybody. And we have a laundry room in the garage as well. So you can do laundry, and I've included laundry baskets almost everywhere in the room where it would make sense. Not all of the rooms though, because there just wasn't space, but you know, I actually do like laundry in my sim games. I think it adds a realism that you wouldn't otherwise get. So there's that. In the back here we created this little pond situation. I'm just trying to zoom in here so I can see everything. We created this little pond situation. I wanted to just have a nice looking space. I didn't want to have the biggest backyard because usually when I do backyards I just fill them up with pools and stuff like that. I didn't want to do that. I want to have a more natural backyard here, so we used a lot of CT items and just try to create a nice and relaxing space. We of course have the big deck area up here as well, where we're gonna put in a barbecue area and lots of seating for the whole family to enjoy the summers and summer nights and just enjoy togetherness. So yeah, I put in a dog track here as well, and something for the kids, but I really wanted to just make it look nice, idyllic and natural in the backyard here. And I think we're just about ready to actually go into the showcase. So this is the last thing I do out here, and I hope you guys are ready for the showcase. There's a lot to see. So here we have the build, guys. Oh man, what a doozy. This took a lot of time to do, but I'm super pleased with the overall look and feel of the build. I definitely think I nailed the brief of a family styled house, and I definitely think that I nailed the brief of a big family styled house. So this is the 6 sim house. Lots of space, lots of rooms, lots of just things to do, and if you're one of those people who enjoy playing with a big sim family, I feel like this is the build for you. So this build is up on the gallery right now. You just have to search my origin ID, which is Auvbri, and you should be able to find every single thing that I have done in the world of The Sims, and every single thing uploaded to the channel here as well. So yeah, Auvbri, that's the name, and that's the way you're gonna find everything. So we're gonna swoop into the house now, and I'm actually gonna show you a lot of the rooms that you didn't get to see me finish. There's also going to be an overview of the floor plan from above in the end of the showcase tour here, but I really enjoyed the way that this turned out. I also tried to just put tons of detail, you know, just a lot of detail in here that took a lot of time just to, you know, find stuff in the clutter and miscellaneous items and stuff like that, just to create this cool looking house with tons of details. So we just saw the laundry room there, going into the dining room, living room space. I think it looks, I mean, I love the way that this turned out. It's definitely something that I can stand behind. I think it turned out super cool and super awesome. And again, there's almost every imaginable sim type in here. So we have a mother-in-law who knits, we have the parents, we have kids, we have dogs and cats in here as well in the household. So it's just everything that you could want in a family style sim house is here. So I really hope you guys love the build, because it took a bloody long time to do. While we're just taking the tour here, master bedroom, I just want to say, if you enjoy my content, why not leave the video a like and a subscribe and share it with your friends, and hit the little notification bell. When you hit the notification bell, you also get notified every single time I go live here on the channel and live stream. When I live stream, I usually do it with you guys, so you guys help me decide what we're gonna build, help me make choices, and of course it's gonna go up as speed builds on the channel as well. But hitting that notification bell is the best way to actually get notified when I go live. And I also usually make a upcoming, you know, I'm gonna be live type of video notification on YouTube, so you can see exactly when I go live and what time and what date. So again, hit that notification bell and smash that thumbs up. It really helps me out a great big deal. And while you're down there, why not tell me what you thought about the builds in the comment section? I always love to hear your thoughts. If there's anything you wanted to change, if you have any thoughts on anything, love to hear it. Always makes me super happy that you guys have input. Speaking of input, if you have an idea for a build that you want to see, you want me to do, also voice it in the comment section down below. This is a build that is a request from you guys. A little while back I did 2 builds that was also requested by one of you guys in the comment section, so I very much love to get ideas from you guys. It also helps me out a lot, so I don't get burned out on trying to come up with all these ideas myself. So definitely voice your opinions down below if you have an idea for a build that you would want to see me do. Again, there's just so many rooms to show here, but I just love the way that it turned out. The upstairs bathroom here, again, big bathroom, a lot of space for a lot of sims, but there should be enough toilets and bathrooms in the builds for everybody. Even though it's a big ass house, it's huge, but it should be enough for just everybody in here. And let's just take a look at the last of the rooms here before we actually jump into the kind of blueprint mode where you can kind of see everything from above. And this is the kind of, I don't know what to call it, kind of like a young adults and teenagers room where maybe you can live with your boyfriend, or you know, something like that. So it's a 6 sim house, but you can definitely chuck 8 sim in here if you want to. So let's take a look at what the build looked from above, so you can see every single room and how the layout turned out. Again, wow, tons of detail. But that being said, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. If it's something you're gonna pick up, if it's something you don't want to pick up, if it's just too big for you, voice your opinions down below. I always love to hear everything you have to say. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time for another video here on the channel. So just have a truly fantastic day wherever you are in the world. Man, that was a big build. Okay, definitely got my blood boiling. I don't know. Do I want to do more of these? Am I a big house builder now?